All right, welcome back. You know, earlier when we were talking in our first sounding off segment, somebody had asked, when are you guys going to attribute these heavy rainfall events to climate change? And here Stephen asks, can you explain the link between these extreme downpours and these flooding events in short periods with climate change due to the increased heat trapping gases in the atmosphere? And this is something, Carl Parker here with me, you've talked about in leading weeks. The research shows that with a warming planet, with a warming globe and Earth, we are seeing more of these extreme rainfall events.
We are, and you know, the line for the longest time was that you can't tie any single event to climate change. That's actually changing now. It's very difficult, but it is possible to link individual events to climate change. The science is called climate attribution, and they're getting better at it all the time. And you know, what we know generally is that the atmosphere is a lot warmer and more humid than it was over the last, you know, say few decades. And so what's happening, there are a couple of things that are happening. One is that sea surface temperatures are warming, and as a result, it's putting more moisture into the atmosphere, and that's being concentrated in extreme events. And so you're really raising the stakes every time you get one of these events that slows down. And the other thing that's happening is that weather systems are slowing down in a lot of cases. And this is another example where we saw there was this unusually strong ridge of high pressure that was parked over the Northeast, and it prevented this system from lifting up and moving on, and rather just slowly moved along to the west. There it is right there, that area of orange.
I mean, when we look at the total precipitation between the start of the year and just now, I mean, the Gulf Coast sticks out 6 to 7 feet in parts of Texas and Louisiana. And you know, I think a lot of people are saying, I feel like we're hearing about these floods over and over again. Houston earlier in the year, northern Louisiana, we had Ellicott City, we've had West Virginia. I mean, we've just had these dramatic heavy rainfall events.
Yeah, all of these 1 in 1,000 year flood events. That was the case with Houston, with Ellicott City, now with the Louisiana flooding, and that basically just means a 1 in 1,000 chance of that occurring.
It doesn't mean once every 1,000 years. It doesn't mean that you're not going to see it again.
Yeah, and, you know, and we can't really know that exactly, but they're just, you know, making this statistical guess based on all the information that we have. But yeah, it's been remarkable to see what's happening. And you know, Louisiana and the Gulf Coast states are particularly vulnerable because you've got this exceptionally warm Gulf of Mexico. The water temperatures were near 90, near record values there. And so that's doing a couple of things. It's putting more moisture into the atmosphere. When the water is warm, it can more easily, the molecules of water can more easily jump into the air, essentially. But then also it increases the instability because it's warmer down low. You've got a more likelihood for thunderstorms to rise up in that environment. And with these warm rain processes, it was, you know, almost in every way a tropical cyclone that occurred here in Louisiana. And so areas that are along the Gulf Coast in particular are going to be very vulnerable to this type of thing. And of course, it's all flat down there, and that doesn't help at all. I mean, terrain doesn't help in a flooding situation because that can channel it and make it, you know, terrible. But in a case where it's so flat, you've just got these broad areas that are covered by water for long periods of time.
And wetlands. You know, Michael Lowry here with us too. And Michael, you're from Louisiana, so that's something you've been talking about. I mean, this is a part of the country that that is prone.
Yeah, we have Monkey Hill in Audubon Park. That's our highest point in South Louisiana.
How high is that?
I don't know, not very high, maybe 30 feet.
Wow.
So we do have some questions coming in on social, and actually the reason we brought this up today is because over the last few days, you've noticed that